What's up, guys? Game Nut here, and welcome back to another episode of our career mode player in Madden 18 with our middle linebacker that plays for the New York Giants. We are about to enter week number 2 of the season against the Detroit Lions, who sit at an 0-1 record. Now, as you guys know, in the last episode, we played against the Cowboys for our season opener, and we took a big fat L. We lost by 15 points. So as we take an updated look at the NFC East standings, like I said, Cowboys ended up winning as well as the Eagles, so those guys sit atop of the division at an 0-1 record, while us and the Redskins are at the bottom with an 0-1 record. Now, one thing I would definitely like to improve on in our second game of the season is not let any more 200-yard rushers go against us, man. That was just absolutely disgusting. We let Ezekiel Elliott go for 201 and the 2 touchdowns, man. I do not want to have 200-yard rushers going against me ever at any point in my career anymore while I'm using this middle linebacker, man. But going against the Detroit Lions, it's definitely a favorable matchup for us. As you guys see, they have Theo Riddick, who's an 83 overall, as well as Amir Abdullah, who's sitting at a 79. And I don't know if you guys know this, but in real life, the Detroit Lions are actually like on a streak of like 60-something games where they haven't had a 100-yard rusher. I mean, you guys are seeing it. The last time that the Lions had a 100-yard rushing player was Reggie Bush back in 2013. Like, in real life, they're actually on a current like 60-game streak without a 100-yard rusher. So hopefully that continues here in Madden, man, and we don't let up a 100-yard rusher today.
Fellas, we're not done yet. We still got more practice to go. We've had a good week so far. Let's make sure we finish the same way. Sunday's opponent is a tough one, so we need to be great out here today, okay?
So yeah, guys, the Lions are definitely on a very dry streak of not having a 100-yard rusher on their team. So, I mean, today, it would definitely be an improvement. I'd be happy if we didn't let up a 200-yard rusher, but it would be really nice if we could, even stop them from going for 100. But as we went into our practice, we actually did really well. All we had to do was stop Eli Manning from getting in the end zone, and every single time, it resulted in an interception. So our secondary was definitely playing pretty well. So from all the XP we just got from practice, as well as the previous game, we got a little over 5,000. I was thinking, I went through all my stats, and I was like, what is the best thing that I think could be useful for us as a middle linebacker at this point in the game? And I was thinking my zone coverage. So I used all of it. It went from a 60 to a 65. It didn't increase our overall of our player. We're still sitting at an 86, but only like 10% of the time, maybe, I would say we're in man coverage, maybe just like 5% we blitz, but the majority of the game, I'm going to be sitting in a zone the entire time, so I thought that was definitely a very important stat we needed to upgrade. But as we look at the injury report, JPP is still out for 2 more weeks. We also lost Dalvin Tomlinson last game, apparently. He's out for 4 weeks. As we look at the Lions injury report, they have a clean slate, man. They don't have a single player on injured reserve right now, so they definitely have a full healthy team going against us. But of course, as we look at the quarterback, they've got Matthew Stafford, Mr. Fourth Quarter Comeback. Hopefully we don't see him make an appearance today in our game. That would be tragic, but he's an 88 overall. As we look at the receivers, they've got Golden Tate, who's an 89. I'm actually surprised they gave him that high of an overall. And they also have Marvin Jones, who's an 84 overall. Below those guys, not really anybody worth of notice. But at tight end, they also have themselves Eric Ebron. He's an 82 overall. But here it is, man. Monday night primetime. 2 primetime games back to back. The 85 Lions going against the 84 Giants. Let's see what Matthew Stafford holds against us, man. And hopefully, Mr. Fourth Quarter Comeback doesn't make an appearance.
Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. Last week, it wasn't the result that this man or his teammates were hoping for. He was able to get to the quarterback for 1 sack in that loss, but they'll be looking for him to make a bigger difference here. It's the Lions going up against the Giants.
All right, Larry, thanks. We are across the Hudson from Midtown Manhattan at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. This is the scene just before we came on air. This New York crowd fired up by the arrival of their G-men as they burst from the locker room. They're ready to go as the Giants get set to match up with Matthew Stafford and the Detroit Lions. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you take a look at this Giants ball club. They come in off a loss in the opener last week. That one was on the road. Now they get their first taste here of home cooking.
And what they're hoping to do is feed off the energy of the home crowd. Great tailgate, great fan support. Let's see if they can put it to good use.
Starting off game number 2 of the season, we are on defense. 10 minutes on the clock. Let's see what we are capable of doing. And right out of the gate, They go with the slant pass to Marvin Jones, and I was like so close to intercepting that, man. Imagine if we got ourselves our first turnover of our career, but also of this game, like on the very first play. I was very close to that, man. Matthew Stafford has to be careful. But 2nd and 10, we go with a little bit of a man coverage. I'm not gonna lie, I played really bad man coverage there. We let up more than a first down to Eric Ebron. 2nd and 5, they're going on the run game. First carry for Theo Riddick. We're doing a good job stopping him for only 4 yards. I mean, hopefully we don't let him go for 100 yards like I did say. But on 3rd and 2, decided to send the cornerback blitz, and it was executed perfectly. Janoris Jenkins got right to Matthew Stafford. He got right past that offensive line, and we just got ourselves a nice 3rd down stop. But on 4th and 7, it's at the 45-yard line, and Matt Prater barely knocks down the field goal. But hold up, if I'm doing my math right, at the 45, this man just knocked down a 62-yard field goal. Okay, this man's getting tested for PEDs the next morning. All right, I don't know how he just did that, but somehow this dude just knocked down a 62-yarder. Okay, we're just going to let that slide apparently. But the Lions have themselves now a 3-0 lead, and we're right back out on defense because the Giants' offense was, they kind of sucked to start off this game. So currently we're sitting at a 2nd and 8 at the 21-yard line, and oh man, we just laid the boom on Theo Riddick, and currently there's an injury timeout. Why am I injuring so many players with this hip power that I've got? I mean, I think we hurt Ezekiel Elliott. He went out of the game for a little bit in the last episode, but now we're smacking on Theo Riddick, and he's going out, it seems like, as for now, because Amir Abdullah is in the game. But on 3rd and 6, we're locking up on zone coverage, but somebody left Amir Abdullah wide open, and he's in for a receiving touchdown. We went with the zone coverage, and this guy comes in one play and gets a touchdown, but I don't know if you guys see this. I went back and looked. I'm in a zone. You guys can see the purple zone right here, and then there's the deep blue, which I think that deep blue is Janoris Jenkins. And then here's those two dummies running across the field like they're in man coverage, and they left their side of the field completely wide open for Amir Abdullah to go in for that touchdown. I could not believe what I saw after I checked that game out, man. But they let up an easy touchdown, so now the Lions have themselves a 10-0 lead. But now we're sitting here checking out the Giants on offense, and Dan Carpenter, our kicker, knocks down a 53-yarder. So we're still in this game, only down by 7 points. At least we got something on the board. But as we head now into the second quarter of this game, 7:50 left on the clock. 1st and 10, Stafford is going to run forward, and oh, that was a mistake, my man. I just absolutely killed Matthew Stafford on that play. We got to take a look at the replay on that. I'm surprised that this man did not fumble. That was one of the hardest hits I think I will have in my career. I mean, hopefully next time we get a big hit stick, maybe we can force a fumble out of it, but next play, 2nd and 2, speak of the devil, we get another giant hit stick on the very following play, and still, no fumble. What do I got to do, man? That's 3 hit sticks I've gotten in this game on big hits on players, and no fumble. But 3rd and 1, we sent a little bit of pressure at Stafford. He kind of had a bad throw, but that was also well defended by Janoris Jenkins, and it was a 4th down. They punted us the ball. So Giants coming back out on offense. Time to see what they can do. Hopefully they can put some points up on the board. I see a lot of rushes by Shane Vereen. He's going, slowly down the field. And on 3rd and goal, finally finished off the drive, Paul Perkins comes into the game, and he gets a 2-yard rushing touchdown on 3rd and goal, and the game is now tied back up at 10 apiece. So 2.5 minutes left until halftime. Amir Abdullah is still currently in the game for Theo Riddick, and he almost took that one to the house. I made a good tackle there. I'm not going to lie. We almost could have let that up for a touchdown if I wasn't there. But next play, 1st and 10, how did he not get tackled by me? That was a weird animation. He just went Matrix on me, and imagine I wasn't even there. But next play, down at the 5, they go with a screen play, and that was well executed, man. Caught me off guard, and Amir Abdullah coming in for the injured Theo Riddick, and this guy gets his 2nd receiving touchdown of the game, and the Lions are back up 17-10. So, with under a minute left until halftime, the Giants are making their way down the field, and these guys perfectly executed another offensive drive to tie this game up right before halftime. I'm actually kind of impressed. The Giants offense is looking really decent this game, and Evan Engram was able to get that touchdown. So, as the game is tied back up, we're heading into now the 3rd quarter of this game. We are currently on offense again, so we know just chilling out. We've got a long break until we're back out on defense, and the Giants looks like they're moving the ball downfield. I see a lot of Brandon Marshall popping up, and thankfully the big board is actually working. You guys know in the last episode it was just showing the field, but thankfully we get to see what our offense is doing. Shane Vereen finishes it off with a 1-yard rushing touchdown. So we're in the lead, first time of the game, 24-17. As we head into the next drive on defense, Stafford is going to look and throw an interception. Our very first career turnover, and it comes off of an interception on Matthew Stafford, man. That was absolutely insane. It feels real nice to get our first official turnover as well as our first interception. But although we can't celebrate too long because Eli Manning sucked on offense and he gave an interception right back to Darius Slay, and Stafford on the next offensive drive struck back real quick, man, and he throws a dot to Theo Riddick. That was kind of my fault. I feel like I could have played that a little bit better and maybe even gotten another pick off of it if I was in better position, but Theo Riddick obviously wasn't injured too long. He came back in, got a receiving touchdown, and the Lions tied this game back up at 24 apiece. Now, although the Lions running backs really aren't doing too much in the run game, that is the third receiving touchdown by the Lions backfield in this game. So as we head forward, now currently sitting at 9 minutes in the fourth quarter, you guys see the scoreboard. It is 27-24. Nothing really happened too much, so we did see that the Lions got another field goal out of it, but as the Giants come back out on offense, however, we're trying to see what they're going to do, and Shane Vereen caps off that drive with his second rushing touchdown of this game, and the Giants, we've got ourselves the lead back once again, 31-27. This is a really good battle we've got on our hands right now, man. So with 5 minutes left, 3rd and 13, perfect zone coverage. The line was able to get to Stafford, gets the sack. That brings up a 4th and 24. They decided to take their field goal, which still leaves them down by 1 point. I was considering, would these guys actually go for it and, try to end the game with a touchdown or something, but after we got that sack and it made it 4th and 24, they obviously had to take their field goal. So we are up by 1 point, like I said, but I do see here Evan Engram comes up with an injury. Hopefully that's not like a serious injury. We'll have to check that out here in just a minute, but the Lions are currently on defense. Giants, all we have to do is just chew at the clock, and that's what I like to see, man. A 15-yard reception to Shane Vereen, pick up these first downs, chew at the clock, make them waste their timeouts, and end this game, man. Don't let Matthew Stafford come back on the field. So a 3rd and 7, a 5-yard rush. That's obviously not enough for a first down, and it looks like we are coming back out on defense to try and end this game. Now, like I said about Evan Engram, I went back to the injury report, don't see his name there, so obviously that is a good thing. He wasn't too injured. He obviously just had like maybe a little stinger or something, and he came back in. But onto the 5-yard line. The Lions have to go 95 yards to get a touchdown, or, they could get a field goal with 1 minute and 30 left. And on the first play, they go with a screen play. That was almost terrible. Gets blown up. They're now at the 1-yard line. So going no huddle, 2nd and 14. I decided to commit on the blitz to see if I could end this game myself and get the safety, but we got blocked by that O-line. They do pick up a couple of yards. So on a 3rd and 2, they're actually going to rush the ball, a draw play to Theo Riddick. I'm kind of surprised that they're actually running the ball here, but it was a good call. They got a first down. So next play, after they, spike the ball, 2nd and 10, back to the run game with Theo Riddick again. I'm kind of confused here. Why are they running the ball? They have to get down the field. And on 3rd and 4, Stafford finds his receiver, Wilson, wide open in the secondary, and he goes all the way down to the 8-yard line. Are you kidding me, man? As we take a look at the replay, Stafford, he exploited this defense perfectly like he should have, and there's nobody in sight. Janoris Jenkins and Landon Collins left a gaping hole for him to just easily get that reception, and he just walked his way to the 8-yard line. And on 1st and goal, the Lions didn't want to take their field goal. They were going for blood, man, and Marvin Jones gets the receiving touchdown, giving the Lions this victory that is going to end this game with a score of 36-31. And exactly what I said we could not let happen happened, man. We let the comeback king, Mr. Fourth Quarter, Matthew Stafford, have a chance in this game, and just as Matthew Stafford does, man, with very little time left in the fourth quarter, he was able to make that comeback and give the Lions the victory, man. What a tragic way to end that game. I really thought we had it in the bag, and when I saw that man Wilson get that catch and just walking down the field easily for the victory, I was crushed, man. It sucked to see that. Now, we definitely improved on the running game a little bit, but we did let Stafford throw for 328 and 4 touchdowns. We did get ourselves that one nice interception, but it wasn't enough, man. But we didn't let up a 100-yard rusher. We actually didn't even let up a 50-yard rusher. That was really nice, but the offense, man, what do you call this? Shane Vereen, 44 carries? That's ridiculous. We cannot give a guy like Shane Vereen 44 carries. Something has to change, man. Eli, you got to throw the ball more, man. Even though he got 175 rushing yards, that's ridiculous. But on defense, we did lead the team in tackles with 7. 6 of them were solo, and we did have our 1 interception, man. But definitely a very mellow vibe right now on the team, man, as we had that game in our hands, and we choked it away in the final minute to Matthew Stafford. So we are currently sitting at an 0-2 record in our season. The next game will be week number 3 against a division opponent, the Philadelphia Eagles. as we take a look at the rest of the NFC East, see how these guys ended up doing. The Cowboys won once again, so they're sitting at 2-0, and the Redskins and Eagles both split their games, so now they're sitting at 1-1 apiece, and we're at the bottom at 0-2. So hopefully, you know, we can get our first victory here, man. I can't believe we're 0-2. That should have been a victory. I can't believe that it had to end that way, man, but hopefully we will bounce back in the next episode and get our victory against the Philadelphia Eagles, man. I will catch you guys on the next one. Hopefully all of you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to go ahead and put a thumbs up on the video, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Take it easy, guys. Peace out.
Backlash written on me, caught robbing on a glass bowl. I've been ballin', free my ladies in the counter now. I'm already out, already on the countdown. I'ma set it right. Got the backlash written on me, cold running from the